Hey guys, welcome to another video. Now, Season 5 of Ranked is just over 2 weeks away from concluding, and as a result, the leaderboards are starting to heat up with that push for Rank 1. Now, the 2v2 leaderboard, which you can currently see on your screen, is one that is usually led by a very short list of names towards the end of every season, recently at least. Players like Monkey Moon, TRK, who's currently going by the name Orf, Daniel, First Killer, Khaled, these are the names that you'll usually expect to see trading that rank 1 or at least getting close to it at the end of seasons. But at the moment we've got a Spanish player who goes by the name of Dorito who's sitting at number 1, and I thought it would be interesting to take a look at a couple of his games to see how he's been getting on towards the end of this season. And of course it's going to be very interesting to see who will finish off at that number 1 in 2v2. We've also got players like Beast Mode, who just won the recent RLCS event in North America. He's sitting at number 4. We've got Atto from Team Liquid. He's just turned 15. Zen likewise. These are young players who, well, at the moment don't have RLCS to play for, so ranked might be a big push for them. Redos and Catalysm, they're still playing, of course, in RLCS, Appjack as well. But yeah, who do you guys think will come out on the top of the twos leaderboard towards the end of the season? Leave your comments down below. And in the meantime, let's get into the first of 2 games played by Dorito. So here we are, Dorito teaming up with FairJame. He's up against his former teammate CRR, a player who now plays for Guild professionally, and also Rawas, the 14-year-old wonder from Saudi Arabia. The next one that everybody's waiting to turn 15, although you're going to have to wait until next season because he will not in fact be 15, even in time for the spring split. If I saw this matchup, I'd have to expect CRR and Rawas to be winning because I don't know who FairJame is. Just going to be completely honest with you. I'm not sure if this guy is just a player that we're familiar with who's changed his name for this game. Well, let's see what Dorito's getting up to. Now, Dorito, when he did play at the end of RLCS Season X in a team with CRR, had quite a lot of success towards the end of the season. The full roster was himself, CRR, and Tigre. They made quite a few regional events in the spring split. So this is not a completely unknown player, but definitely a peak for him, at least from what I can remember, in the ranked leaderboard, which is really cool to see. The 2v2 ranked leaderboard is, I think, a very good indication of the top players. At least, you know, all the players who are at the top of 2s are usually very, very good players. Like I mentioned before, players like Monkey Moon, First Killer, and Daniel, these are guys who are often touted as the best players in the world. Of course, Daniel just now old enough to play RLCS and trying to prove that he is in that conversation, but he was in the run-up to RLCS, dominating NA 1v1. And yeah, like I mentioned before, Khaled as well, just such a legendary player. A nice finish there by Rawas to tie up this game. So far, Dorito playing a pretty standard game, just trying to play off his teammates' plays. There we do have the fake kickoff and the bump lands. And FairJame's going to walk in the open net. Love to see the mind games and the bumps on the kickoffs in 2v2. This is not a very recent adaptation. Another fake kickoff there. That's 2 in a row. And is it going to work out? It's actually going to work out for Dorito and FairJame. They've just done the back-to-back fake kickoffs. Will we get 3 in a row here? As both fake kickoffs have been combined with bumps. You can do that in the diagonal spawn as well. I would have loved to see a third one there. Just to try and get as many in a row as possible. It's something that you should absolutely be trying in your own games, as it's just so fun to surprise the opponents on the kickoffs. Obviously, if you're familiar with the general commandments, you'll know that that is not allowed, but a lot of you guys, I'm sure, are regular breakers of the general commandments of Rocket League Ranked, and so you should surprise your opponents. Don't be predictable. A bit of a giveaway of possession there by Rawas. FairJame briefly out the game. Dorito easily able to collect the ball on the back wall. Maybe a ground play would have made more sense there from Rawas. Try and bring CRR into the game, whether with a physical play or with a passing play. Or great back wall defense by Dorito, just completely controlling the 50-50. I'm not sure if he missed that boost in midfield or if he actually left it for his teammate, because he knew that his teammate had control of the ball and he could actually just go and steal the boost in the far corner. Maybe he left that. It's often a good idea to just leave a boost for your teammate if you can run ahead of them and get one in the corner or at midfield. If it means that you can stay closer together in twos, it's usually the best play to be making. Nice pass by Roas. 3-3 game now. Dorito's been standout with his back wall defense, with his control. But for the most part, it's just those demo kickoffs that have, and the bump kickoffs that have kept them in this, as CRR and Roas have combined forces in offense excellently. Roas avoiding the bump. CRR just now scoops a shot from FairJame off the goal line. And Dorito decides not to dive into the back wall there. That's a really good recovery, and that's a very instructive way to disrupt a play that your opponents are trying to make near the wall. Just jumping, single jumping or double jumping into the ball to pop it into that side wall, and then, of course, turning, continuing to air steer to turn your car back down the way so you can recover immediately and drive towards the ball before the opponents can. All about recoveries for Dorito, but now he's just going to use all of his boost to exit the play. This could be a bit of an awkward position now. It's FairJame left alone briefly. Dorito does shadow in an effective position to defend against Roas' shot. Now he's got full control again, mind gaming Roas. Roas turns around, goes right for the demo. Very smart play, but it looks like FairJame might have just scored. He has indeed, so FairJame getting a solo goal, completely surprising the opposition with that challenge. Usually when your teammate's demoed and the other team has control of the ball, fake challenges will be the preferred strategy. The back corner boost grab for Roas. FairJame's done really well here. Dorito not going to the back corner, and you'll notice that he's quite happy to boost starve himself here if it means helping the defense of the goal, because grabbing that back corner boost, leaving shots uncontested would be probably a position that you're going to lose in anyway. They do end up getting scored on. Patience from Roas and CRR. It's another fake kickoff goes through. The bump doesn't land this time. CRR avoiding it. And the fake challenge in the back corner, followed by the drive back towards the ball. It's a great save by FairJame. CRR with a very fast dribble down the line. Didn't give Dorito a chance to intercept him. It's a very tense game here on Forbidden Temple. Oh my goodness, Dorito's going to commit to this. He goes fully into the net to try and land the bump onto CRR, and the boost has ran out for his opponents, leaving the open net. That was a lot of faith. You know, Dorito's shown tons of faith in his teammate FairJame here at times to make plays. He's quite happy to run ahead, go for a bump, maybe just go for a boost steal. That's a great interception by FairJame. Game-winning interception, because Dorito's going to run on and make it 6-4. You think surely that'll be it. It is indeed a forfeit. Great kickoffs by these guys. Phenomenal defense by Dorito in the first half of the game. He was left solo at the back quite a lot, did great despite that fact. And FairJame really stepped up towards the end of the game as well, synergizing well with Dorito. Dorito showing a lot of faith in him to do his job when Dorito's running ahead of him. And it's really good that when you can do that with a random twos teammate when you're just queuing up solo, and you feel that confidence in your teammate that he will not make a mistake when you briefly leave him at the back solo. And Dorito quite happy to do that, even though he's at this time in these games making that push for rank 1. You'd think that he'd be playing very defensively, sitting back, trying to take no risks, but actually quite happy to take risks and trust his teammate. Let's see if he continues to do that in the second game of the video. So Dorito now teaming up with CRR. I don't think they're actually in a party though, or there would be a party indicator. And this game was played 30 minutes after the previous game we just watched, where Dorito and CRR were definitely not in a party. So I'm pretty sure that these guys have just solo queued and got into each other's teams. They're up against Mazixi, who's a Saudi Arabian player from, I forgot his team actually. And Zen, who of course, very, very high rated, just turned 15-year-old French wonder kid. Now I guess it's worth talking about because I'm sure people will maybe mention it in the comments, but Zen has in fact been banned, I believe, for a year from our LCS competition from his 15th birthday. And the reason for that is because when he was still 14, he did secretly play, or tried to secretly play in an RLCS qualifier on someone else's account, which is of course against the rules. It's something that G2 now, G2 Atomic did years and years ago, and the same ban was given to him. He was not allowed to play for 1 whole year after he turned 15 because he played when he was 14 on someone else's account to try and get some games in without telling, well, completely against the rules, and obviously without communicating that with Psyonix now. The reason that this has been part of a pretty big discussion in the Rocket League community is because Team Liquid's Atto and Oski just recently turned 15, and they were allowed to play in the EU qualifier for the last regional of the winter split. And some of the French community, and I think some just fans of Zen, were annoyed that they were allowed to play. Meanwhile, Zen given a ban. But I just want to say right now that I think that those complaints are completely ridiculous, and I think that anybody saying that Psyonix are showing favoritism by allowing Oski and Atto to play when Team Liquid and those two players reached out to Psyonix and said, hey, we're not going to be 15 during the qualifier, but we are actually going to be 15 in time for the event. Can we play in the qualifier? Psyonix said yes. They made an exception there. Team Liquid didn't end up qualifying anyway, but that's another story. But yeah, this has nothing to do with the ban that was given to Zen. Zen's a great player. Hopefully he has learned from that mistake of playing on someone else's account when he was not old enough to be playing in that tournament anyway. Obviously in RLCS you're not allowed to play on another player's account, and Psyonix have got ways that they can check to see if that is indeed happening. And you of course are not allowed to play until you're 15 without that exception that Team Liquid are given. So that's a pretty, I think it's a pretty clear-cut decision by Psyonix. I don't really see why anyone in the Rocket League community would complain about that decision, but there were plenty of complaints, so I thought it might be worth throwing my very obvious 2 cents into the pool on that one. So, meanwhile, while we'll be talking about that, Dorito and CRR, oh my goodness, they've just obliterated Zen and Mizixi. That is a forfeit. I did not expect this. I thought surely we would see a bit more of a competitive game here, but what on earth has happened at the end of this for that to just be a forfeit? Well, Zen has lost control of the ball. Looks like Mizixi's tripped on the post in the meantime. I think he's trying to stay out of Zen's way here. And Zen just completely doesn't get the first touch that he was looking for. And Mizixi trying to get out of Zen's way, trips on the post, and that just leaves an open net for Dorito to go and score. Wow, it really just fell apart here. I want to go and see the other goals now in replay, because usually at 4-1 down, with that much time left, a team would just continue playing, but this must have just gone horrendously wrong. Zen, oh yeah, he just completely botches that wall clear. He's trying to air dribble the ball clear, misses his takeoff entirely, and then fails to get goal side in the next 50-50 as well. Yeah, it's just all gone wrong here, but I'm very impressed with Dorito's play overall in both these games. But since we were cut short here, what I will do for you guys, since pretty much in this game all we did is talk about the Zen and Team Liquid. I don't even want to really call it a controversy, because it wasn't. I don't think it was controversial at all, but yeah, I wanted to talk about that because there's been so much talk about it from the French community. I just think the French community and Rocket League community as a whole, who are trying to back up Zen. Obviously, they want to support Zen, but I think it's ridiculous. The ban, it's in the rules, so there isn't really anything to complain about in my opinion. But I will go look for one more Dorito game because this was a really short one. Let's watch one more game from Dorito. I'll be back in a second. Just gonna go and find a good one to show to you guys. Alright, so here we are with the bonus third game of this video. Dorito, this time playing with Brain. I believe I've watched another Brain game on the channel before. I forget who exactly was playing, but I think it was possibly some Khaled 2's ranked games with Brain. So this is a player I've seen before. Zamwe and Ivan are two other very, very high-rated players in EU, and in fact, Zamwe is currently teaming with Dorito. Dorito's new team, the most recent team, Pepepitos Canyon. Sorry if I've said that name wrong to any fans of the team. That's Dorito, Zamwe, and Demensa. Full Spanish roster. Demensa from Team Queso from RLCS Season X, not the current RLCS Team Queso. And Zamwe from, well, most of the season, I think he played with the Giants, if not the entire season of RLCS Season X. Yeah, now these guys, who all played in different teams at the end of RLCS Season X, getting together, see how they can go with a full Spanish roster. Now they also tried to qualify for the most recent RLCS event in EU, failed to do so, but that is not really an indication of a team not being good. Those EU qualifiers are ridiculously stacked these days. There's just simply more than 16 very, very strong teams in Europe at the moment, so if you don't make top 16, well, better luck next time. Great little double there by Dorito to go up 2-1. He has just scored 2 solo goals simply in this game so far. It's a critical element to be able to rank up in 2v2. You have to be able to make some kind of solo play. Now, the first thing that comes to your mind when you think solo play is big air dribble, you know, big ceiling play. But actually the best kind of solo play to be good at, I've said this many times on my channel, is just shooting. Shooting and setting up shots for yourself. That is the most effective way to get a offensive play going that could just result in a goal, and also preserve your positioning so you can then get back into defense, get back into the midfield, continue to challenge. And that's what I'd advise all of you guys to try and do, because the majority of players who are not in high Grand Champ or Supersonic Legend, the biggest mistake, or maybe not the biggest mistake, but the biggest thing that's lacking from their Rocket League gameplay is the ability to just shoot the ball hard. It's really shocking to me when I watch ranked games from even low to mid Grand Champ and any rank below there, where players just are not hitting the ball as effectively as they could be, and they're just simply leaving rank points or leaving goals on the table if you just don't know how to hit the ball hard. Now, I'm very surprised that Dorito didn't challenge here, because Brain had the net covered. Looks like Dorito preferred to just wait back there, maybe expecting an air dribble from the opponents. Yeah, it looked like it was a bit of an awkward position for Brain, who was behind Dorito, because he's probably hoping that Dorito challenges there so that he'll have an easy follow-up. Dorito in this particular matchup decides actually he just would rather be the player following up on plays. This is actually something that I recommend for any of you who are playing with lower ranked friends. If you want to have an easier game and you want to make the game easier for your lower ranked friends, don't try to take over the game too much. Try to play off their touches, because if you imagine a 50-50 about to happen in any position on the field, wouldn't you as the higher rated player rather be the player reacting to that 50-50 instead of you being involved in the 50-50 and then having your lower rated friend react to it? Because more than likely, just because of their positional well, maybe not problems, but their lack of positioning compared to yourself, they're not going to get to that ball as quickly as you can. Mechanics as well come into play. So in fact, having a lower rated player be the aggressive one, or maybe if you're playing with 2 lower rated friends, having the lower rated friends try to be as aggressive as possible can often be the easiest way to play, and have the best player just trying to play off the chaos that they manage to establish. So I know that's not going to be relevant for everybody these days, because most people try and play with people around about their rank to maximize the rank points that they're going to get. But yeah, I know a lot of you guys want to play with your friends as well. I pretty much exclusively these days play Rocket League with my friends, if not occasionally solo queue, just if I want a headache. But yeah, it's something that a lot of players get wrong. They try too hard to force themselves into the game, try too hard to carry. We're not seeing that at all from Dorito in these games. He is, trying to make that push for rank 1, trying to make that push really high up the leaderboard. He's not trying to carry. He's actually trying to play off his teammate. He's trying to make the game as easy for them as he can. He's got a double tap from close range here. Not sure how much he knew about it. A very strong 50-50s. Also, clearly a big part of his game. Never really playing for the big win on 50s. Just trying not to lose them. That's a good way to think about your 50-50s in Rocket League. 45 seconds left. 2-goal lead. Be very surprised to see big risks being taken. And this might look like a big risk, but actually he's thinking about the recovery here. He's trying to save a little bit of boost to get back into position after that play finishes in offense. The Brain's done a great job while being left alone at the back, just briefly. Something that we've seen from Dorito in quite a few of his games. He's not always babysitting his teammate. And now it looks like Ivan's actually just gone AFK or disconnected. I'm not sure why. Because there's a lot of time left in this game. I feel like he probably could have come back from 2-1 down. I'm curious actually if Ivan's moving his camera. This is how you can check if somebody's really DC'd or if they are just going AFK. Well, let's see. That actually, when he stopped moving, okay, he's flipped. Looks like he's playing. Oh, that looks like it might just be a disconnect or a controller issue, because he was trying to rotate out. And then his car just stops moving. Oh dear, poor Ivan and Zamway. They're not going to get a chance for a comeback in 1v2. Dorito, of course, comes to check on Ivan, make sure that he's doing okay. Just trying to knock some life into him. No such luck. Yeah, Ivan completely lifeless. Doesn't look like we're going to get a DC though. So will he? No, okay, he will let the clock tick down. What is going on with the ball here? Where is everybody? Oh, it's just all the way over there. So we can't see it, and I think that is indeed no. Yeah, with 4 seconds left, for if it goes through. It looks like we might have had a controller issue there for Ivan. Very unfortunate. But I think Dorito and Brain probably had this one under control. Probably going to get the win anyway. So very interesting. I'm surprised to see, well, some of the things that Dorito does. He does leave his teammate alone at the back more than some of the other players that I've seen who are pushing for, extremely high ranks, rank 1 especially. Usually you'll never really see that. So definitely an unpredictable player, using a ton of physical plays as well. I must say I'm a big fan. I love the mind game kickoffs. I love the bump kickoffs. Definitely want to see plenty more of those. I'd encourage you guys to try them out in your own games. Tons of fun. Works on every single spawn in 2v2. There's not a single spawn that you can't do this on, where you just fake the kickoff, go for the demo on the second man, net's open for your teammate. Just remember when you are playing at the back, waiting for the demo kickoff to happen, try not to make it too obvious. Don't just reverse all the way back into the net. Sometimes just jumping on the spot is a pretty good way to disguise it, because from the opponent's POV it looks like you flipped if they're not really paying attention to what you're doing. So one thing you could try, or even just driving in a little circle, is another thing that some players do, faking the boost grab and then turning around to come back into the middle for the ball. Some players like to combine it, especially on the diagonal kickoff, with a very close cheat, actually. Maybe not close cheat, or I should say a slow to average distance cheat. So that, again, it's harder to see coming, because if a player's cheating out of the net and the other player's faking the kickoff, that's hard to predict, because usually somebody would be covering the goal or hitting the ball on the kickoff. But yeah, definitely give it a go. Really, really fun to do those, especially just one after another, surprising your opponents. It's extremely effective. Just catching your opponents off guard with a kickoff. It's obviously a good thing to do, and demos very, very popular. They're only going to become more popular as time goes on. So you can't beat him, join him. Just get stuck in. Why not combine those two wonderful strategies into one? But yeah, like I said before, really interested to see who the rank 1 players or rank 1 player, possibly players, are going to be between now and the end of the season. And of course, who's going to finish this season at rank 1? Will it be Dorito? Will it be one of the more usual customers? We're going to find out over the course of the next 2 weeks. For now, guys, appreciate you swinging by. Remember to sub to the channel if you enjoy this kind of content. And until next time, take care.